Everyone knows ancient Egypt as the land of magnificent pyramids, powerful pharaohs, and incredible engineering. But what if everything you learned was only half the story? Behind those golden temples and towering monuments was a civilization built on fear, brutal labor, deadly curses, political betrayals, and mysterious deaths. Millions of stone blocks were moved without modern machines. Powerful kings ruled like living gods. Entire cities disappeared beneath the desert. And some tombs remained untouched for over 3,000 years, until explorers opened them and strange events began to happen. Today, we're uncovering the dark secrets behind one of history's greatest civilizations. This is the truth behind ancient Egypt. More than 5,000 years ago, while much of the world was still living in scattered villages, a remarkable civilization was rising in the heart of the desert. Along the fertile banks of the Nile River, ancient Egypt began its incredible journey. Unlike other regions, Egypt had one priceless advantage: the Nile. Every year, the river overflowed its banks, leaving behind rich black soil that allowed crops to grow even in the middle of the harsh desert. To the Egyptians, the Nile wasn't just a river. It was the source of life itself. Without it, their civilization could never have survived. As villages expanded into towns, and towns became powerful cities, Egypt transformed into one of the world's first great kingdoms. Its people developed advanced farming techniques, built impressive temples, created one of the earliest writing systems called hieroglyphics, and established a government unlike anything the ancient world had ever seen. Trade flourished across Africa and the Middle East. Gold, ivory, precious stones, and rare goods flowed into Egypt, making it one of the richest civilizations on Earth. But wealth alone didn't make Egypt extraordinary. The Egyptians believed that their kingdom had been chosen by the gods. Every temple, every monument, and every law reflected their deep connection with the divine. As centuries passed, Egypt became stronger, richer, and more powerful. Soon, its rulers would no longer be seen as ordinary kings. They would become living gods. And the age of the pharaohs was about to begin. In ancient Egypt, the pharaoh was far more than a king. To millions of people, he was believed to be a living god, a direct link between humanity and the gods themselves. His authority was absolute. Every law, every war, every temple, and every decision rested in his hands. The Egyptians believed that as long as the pharaoh ruled wisely, the gods would bless the land with peace, prosperity, and the life-giving floods of the Nile. Disobeying the pharaoh wasn't simply considered a crime. It was seen as an offense against the gods. His name was carved into massive temples, towering statues, and ancient monuments designed to last forever. Some pharaohs became legendary. Khufu ordered the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza, one of the greatest engineering achievements in human history. Hatshepsut became one of the few female pharaohs, leading Egypt into an era of peace and prosperity through trade instead of war. Then came Ramses II, often called Ramses the Great, whose military victories and enormous monuments made him one of history's most famous rulers. But behind the golden crowns and magnificent palaces lay a darker reality. The royal court was filled with jealousy, conspiracies, betrayals, and assassinations. Brothers fought brothers. Queens competed for power. Royal families were torn apart by ambition. Many pharaohs feared that their own trusted advisors, or even members of their own families, might one day steal the throne. To protect their legacy, they built magnificent tombs filled with unimaginable treasures, believing these riches would accompany them into the afterlife. Yet despite all their wealth and power, not even the mighty pharaohs could escape death. And the greatest mystery they left behind still stands in the Egyptian desert today: the pyramids. For more than 4,500 years, the Great Pyramids of Giza have stood against time, surviving wars, earthquakes, sandstorms, and the rise and fall of entire civilizations. Even today, they remain one of history's greatest mysteries. The largest of them, the Great Pyramid of Khufu, was once the tallest man-made structure on Earth. It was built using more than 2 million massive stone blocks, many weighing between 2 and 15 tons. Yet the ancient Egyptians had no cranes, no engines, and no modern machinery. So how did they build something so enormous with such incredible precision? Historians believe that thousands of skilled workers spent decades cutting, transporting, and placing each stone by hand. Using wooden sleds, ropes, ramps, and remarkable engineering, they created a monument that still amazes the world thousands of years later. The four sides of the Great Pyramid are almost perfectly aligned with the cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. The accuracy is so extraordinary that many people still struggle to believe it was built with ancient technology alone. Inside the pyramids, hidden chambers and narrow passageways protected the pharaoh's tomb. These chambers were filled with treasures, jewelry, statues, food, and sacred objects. The Egyptians believed that after death, the pharaoh would continue his journey into the afterlife and would need these possessions forever. For centuries, stories spread about secret rooms, hidden treasures, and mysterious curses waiting inside the pyramids. Some were only legends. Others remain unsolved mysteries even today. The pyramids became far more than royal tombs. They became timeless symbols of human ambition, faith, and one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever known. While the pharaohs lived in magnificent palaces surrounded by gold, luxury, and endless servants, the lives of ordinary Egyptians were completely different. Most people were farmers. From sunrise until sunset, they worked under the scorching desert sun, growing wheat, barley, vegetables, and flax along the banks of the Nile. Their survival depended entirely on the river. If the annual flood was too small, crops failed. If it was too large, entire villages could be destroyed. Either way, thousands of families faced hunger. Heavy taxes made life even harder. Farmers were required to give a large portion of their harvest to the government, leaving many families with barely enough food to survive. Those who couldn't pay were often punished severely. Many Egyptians also spent months working on government construction projects. They built temples, tombs, canals, and massive monuments for the pharaoh. The work was exhausting. Long hours, heavy stones, extreme heat, and dangerous conditions claimed countless lives. Disease was another constant threat. Although Egyptian doctors were among the most advanced of the ancient world, they had little understanding of bacteria or infection. Simple injuries could become deadly. Life expectancy was short, and many children never reached adulthood. Yet despite these hardships, ordinary Egyptians continued to believe that serving the pharaoh and honoring the gods would bring peace in the afterlife. For them, suffering in this life was often seen as the price of eternal happiness after death. But even their faith couldn't protect ancient Egypt forever, because a slow decline had already begun, one that would eventually bring this mighty civilization to its knees. No empire, no matter how powerful, can remain strong forever. For centuries, ancient Egypt stood as one of the richest and most advanced civilizations on Earth. But slowly, cracks began to appear. Powerful pharaohs were replaced by weaker rulers. Corruption spread through the government. Nobles fought for power, while civil wars divided the kingdom from within. At the same time, foreign enemies saw an opportunity. The Assyrians invaded first. Then came the Persians, who conquered Egypt and ended centuries of native Egyptian rule. Although Egypt briefly regained its independence, it was never as powerful as before. In 332 BC, a young conqueror named Alexander the Great marched into Egypt. Unlike previous invaders, he was welcomed by many Egyptians. He founded the city of Alexandria, which soon became one of the greatest centers of learning in the ancient world. After Alexander's death, the famous Ptolemaic dynasty ruled Egypt for nearly 3 centuries. Its last ruler was Cleopatra VII, one of history's most famous queens. But even Cleopatra could not stop the empire's final collapse. After her defeat by Rome in 30 BC, Egypt officially became a province of the Roman Empire. The age of the pharaohs had finally come to an end. The temples slowly fell silent. The royal tombs were abandoned. The mighty civilization that had ruled the Nile for over 3,000 years became history. Yet even after its fall, the pyramids continued to stand, watching silently as one empire after another rose and disappeared beneath the sands of time. Ancient Egypt may have disappeared as an empire, but it never disappeared from history. Its pyramids still rise above the desert. Its temples still tell stories carved into stone. and its mysteries continue to fascinate millions of people around the world. The Egyptians believed that a person's name would live forever as long as it was remembered. More than 3,000 years later, their civilization is still remembered, not because of its gold, not because of its kings, but because it proved what humanity could achieve with vision, determination, and belief. Every pyramid, every statue, and every forgotten tomb reminds us that even the greatest civilizations can fall, but true greatness can survive forever. If you enjoyed this journey through ancient Egypt, don't forget to subscribe to Midnight History and join us as we uncover the greatest stories hidden in the pages of history. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next chapter of history.